Guys, Brandon back, and we're doing the MLB The Show franchise mode again. We got the NL West, Arizona Diamondbacks team that made the World Series last year. Really shocked the MLB world, beat the Dodgers, and lost the Texas Rangers. Let's take a look at this roster before we get this first season underway and see if we can make some magic and get back to the World Series with this Arizona Diamondback team. Zach Gallen, the ace, we know we're going to get from him. He's signed for this season. The next season he hits free agency, so he's going to win a big deal. Hopefully he can continue to carry us to another World Series appearance. Merrill Kelly, who probably going to fall off not this season, but next season. He's signed for 2 more seasons. He's going to be really good for us. Eduardo Rodriguez, their free agent acquisition, 4-year deal, was really good last year with the Tigers. And then Brandon Paft, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, and then Ryan Nelson. So the fourth and fifth starters are younger, could use a little bit more work, but 1, 2, 3 could be really solid. Let's take a look at the bullpen. Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Thompson, Miguel Castro, Joe Mantiply, who's had some up and down years for the Diamondbacks, and then Kyle Nelson. So the bullpen's not great. Definitely could use some work there. And they got Paul Sewald, who's been really good in that closer spot. Hell of a pickup from the Mariners. You got Gabriel Moreno, young catch they got from the Toronto Blue Jays. He had a pretty solid year last year. Not incredible year, but still pretty solid. They got Tucker Barnhart as a backup catcher, Renato Hernandez. So they got some catching depth. Christian Walker, the slugging first baseman. Free agent after the year, so it's going to be curious to see what the Diamondbacks do with him. Curious what we're going to do with him. Age 33, probably a short-term deal if he does have a big year. Ketel Marte, all-star level second baseman, got him for the rest of the franchise. And then they got Jace Peterson, really good utility guy off the bench. Eugenio Suarez was an interesting pickup for them from the Seattle Mariners. Had 22 home runs a year ago, but definitely a down year compared to the last 2 years with the Reds and Mariners. He'll be our third baseman. Gerardo Perdomo, shortstop, only 24 years of age, had a pretty solid year last year. They also got Elvis Andrus, the veteran, still going. Had an okay year with the White Sox. I mean, not a horrible year. And they got Jordan Lawler, the young shortstop prospect, who's definitely going to take over eventually. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., they re-signed to a 3-year deal. Really good re-signing for them. Jock Peterson, they also brought in to be a platoon guy off the bench, hit against righties, and they got Randall Grichuk as well. So they added some new players to this team. Alec Thomas, young outfielder. Drew Jones going to be a stud for them. Jake McCarthy. And then right field is the stud Corbin Carroll, who's only going to continue to get better. So when you look at this roster overall, you can see why they made the World Series. I mean, they got a really good roster, and they made some additions like Rodriguez and a few, position players. Question is, do we sign a Jordan Montgomery or a Michael Lorenzen, who I think signed with, forgot who Michael Lorenzen signed with, but I'm pretty sure he signed. I just don't think they updated it yet. Do we sign like a Mike Clevenger? We have Chip Friedberg, young starting pitcher we could sign, and Tom Park, another young starting pitcher. Montgomery would fit really good with this rotation. Let's see if there's anybody we can get rid of. Gonna go ahead and get rid of, let's see, Connor. I mean, he's deep potential. So our cap is at 160 if we sign Montgomery. Let's see. I know I signed him in a few of the other franchises. I think he'd fit really well as a 4 on this rotation. He signs for 21 million overall. 10.5 for 2 years ain't bad for Montgomery, so I like that deal. Let me go ahead and add him to the major league roster. Actually, I'll do that outside the video. So I think our roster's set for now. We definitely can make some moves at trade deadline. But I'm going to go ahead and send with the regular season and get this first season underway. I will see you guys at the trade deadline. Trade deadline. We're sitting at 55 and 53. This division's been very weak so far this season. I mean, the Dodgers are only 56 and 52. The Padres are in first, 58 and 51. This is a tough division regardless, but I thought, maybe we'd be a second or third place team, a wild card team. But we're right in it. So let's take a look. I'm just going to go through the lineup real quick, just because our team went on like a massive losing streak. And I'm just curious if it's the lineup struggling or just the pitching. Corbin Carroll's been good. Jock Peterson's having a monster year, 32 home runs. Christian Walker's been solid. Gurriel. I mean, the lineup don't really look like that much of a problem. Everybody's having about either better years than last year or about even with last year. We did have an injury to Ketel Marte. He's out 1 to 2 months with a fractured wrist. He was having a really good season, so I'm sure that was a big hit for us as well. The lineup don't look bad, though. Let me take a look at this rotation. Zach Gallen's been good. Montgomery's been good. Merrill Kelly's been good. Rodriguez and half or a fifth starter has been pretty good. The bullpen, Ryan Nelson's been solid. Ryan Thompson's been good. Joe Mantiply's been solid. Miguel Castro's been good. Kyle Nelson has not been good. Scott McGuff, not been great. Paul Sewald's been really good. And Kevin Ginkel in the closer role has not been bad. I'm going to switch Paul Sewald to the closer role. This is what I don't get, though. Now, I've complained about this so many times. Why is Paul Sewald's overall dropping when he has a 1.80 ERA? That makes zero sense. He's having a hell of a season. So just going to look at the trade block real quick, see if there's anything. I did put a few players from our roster who were either free agents or getting older, and maybe we could get something back. Do we go after... I'm just not really seeing much that really improves our roster. Our starting rotation's fine. The bullpen could use a little work. Danny Colomé, he's 34, so, he might start falling off. I'm going to try to get Nick Sandlin from the Guardians just to improve our bullpen a little bit. I'm going to trade them Yu-Min Lin, starting pitcher, because our bullpen looks like it has 2 weak links right now. Going to go ahead and send Kyle Nelson down. He's been pretty bad. So we had Nick Sandlin, who was signed for the rest of his franchise. He's 27, having a great year, 2.45 ERA. Maybe that fixes some of the bullpen woes, but I'm just confused why this team is struggling so much, because it doesn't really look like we're struggling that much in any area. I know Qatar Marte is hurt, but looking at this roster, yeah, we're 2 games above 500, but I feel like we should be better. It just don't really look like we're really struggling to a point where it's like, man, the lineup's the wink link, or the pitching it just looks like maybe one game we hit, one game we don't or something. I don't know. It's very odd. So I'm going to go ahead and send the end of the season. Maybe that bullpen move will get us a wild card, or maybe even a division. We're about to find out. First season is officially over. We had some league leaders. Jock Peterson with 47 home runs and slugged over 600. What a year for Jock Peterson. And he ends up winning the NL MVP, Jock Peterson. He's going to win a lot of money in free agency, and rightfully so. What a monster year for Jock. 47 home runs, 109 RBIs, 608 slugging. This guy was a beast. Wow. That I know he's got 98 power against righty, but I didn't expect 47 home runs. I expected maybe 24 to 20, maybe 20 to 24 home runs. 47 is incredible. Wow. What a year for Jock Peterson. We were getting a lot of trade offers for him too, and none of them were really that good. So it's actually surprising he had that monster of a year. So let's see how everybody did. Gerardo Perdomo, really good year for him. 14 home runs, 43 RBIs, 268 average. Ketel Marte, even though he only played 99 games, hit 22 home runs, 60 RBIs, 288 average. So good for him to still put up numbers despite playing less games. Corbin Carroll, another great year for him. 34 home runs, 100 ribbies, slugged over 500, hit 283. This guy's going to be an absolute stud. Jock Peterson, we already talked about the year he had. Christian Walker, 35 home runs, 88 RBIs. His overall's going down after a year like that. Crazy. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., a good year. Our lineup looks good. I'm surprised we honestly finished at 500 with this lineup. Either the pitching fell apart, or like I said before, we just couldn't hit and pitch at the same time. Eugenio Suarez with 31 home runs, 68 RBIs. We had a lot of power in this lineup. Alec Thomas, 126 games, hit 12 home runs, 41 RBIs. Gabriel Moreno was solid, 12 home runs, 48 RBIs, hit 263. Let's take a look at the bench. Jordan Lawler in limited time didn't really hit, but he's going to continue to get better. Jose Herrera, 59 overall catcher, didn't really do too much. Jace Peterson, solid numbers for a utility player off the bench. Reno Grichuk, hey, good for average, just didn't really show much power in 71 games. Jake McCarthy didn't do much in limited time. So let's take a look at the pitching. Zach Gallen, another excellent year, 3.36 ERA, 11-11 record. Jordan Montgomery was excellent as well, 11-12. It just seems like our stars doesn't get a lot of run support. These guys have great ERAs and 500 win-loss, 11-12 with a 3.40 ERA. Merrill Kelly was really good, 10-6, 3.25 ERA. Eduardo Rodriguez was solid for a number 4. And Brandon Paft was, good for number 5. So our rotation looked good. I think this rotation is going to be set for next season unless we get a monster trade or something. Let's take a look at the bullpen. Ryan Nelson was really solid for us. 198 innings in a long relief role as well. So he could definitely be a future starter or still be in that long relief role. Ryan Thompson was really good, 2.93 ERA. Kyle Nelson was not good. Miguel Castro had a fantastic year. He's getting ready to hit free agency, so definitely to give him a contract extension. 3.17. Kevin Ginkel was solid, 3.51 ERA. Nick Sandlin was an excellent pickup, 3.17 ERA. And how about Paul Sewald, 43 strikeouts in 46 innings, 1.93 ERA, but his overall's dropping. Don't know why. So really, I'm just flabbergasted by this team. I don't get why we struggled so much. It just looks like we had a solid team overall. That's surprising. Let me show you guys who wins the World Series. The Braves defeat the Yankees to win the World Series. So it's off the off season, and when I look at this roster, as Justin Verlander retires and getting the Hall of Fame, like I said, rotation we're fine. Bullpen we're going to lose a few pieces. We probably need to add a few relievers. We're probably going to lose Paul Sewald as well. We do have Chris Iverson, who's 22, same overall as Paul Sewald. He's 12 years younger. He could be a guy we really could use in this bullpen next year. So that's interesting. So we also have Sean Doe. Maybe there are a few players we drafted. They're going to be guys you can look to rely on next year as well. So if I look to the rest, Christian Walker, we got to decide what to do. Maybe center field, something we look at. I know we got some prospects coming up, but we're trying to win in these 3 seasons. We got 2 seasons left to win. And then Corbin Carroll's got right foot on lock. So I'm going to go ahead and get the free agency, get to work, and I'll show you guys what we did and start next season. Second season about to get underway. I think I improved this team good enough to get to the playoffs. We will see. I've said that before, and it didn't work out. Jeff Hoffman, we had on a 2-year deal, $5 million a year, coming off a really good year. We had to overpay a little bit because the Phillies were really interested in bringing him back. We really needed somebody to really be a top reliever in our bullpen, and he's definitely going to be that guy. Coming off a 3.29 ERA season. We also signed Caleb Ferguson to a 1-year, $3.5 million deal, also coming off a very good year with the Dodgers. So we add those 2 to our bullpen. We also called up Sean Doe, and we also are going to give Chris Iverson a shot in the closer spot, or maybe we make Jeff Hoffman closer. We'll see how that works out. We brought Christian Walker back. He ended up accepting a qualifying offer for $20.7 million, so good to have his bat back in the lineup. Didn't really add too many position players. I think we offered Ahmed Rosario a deal. He did not end up accepting it, so we might need to go and sign maybe somebody to play every position off the bench. We did not bring back Jace Peterson. We did make an outfield signing, even though we have a lot of outfielders. Felt like we needed to make another outfield just for center field for this season because Jake McCarthy's not ready to be there yet. Alec Thomas is still developing, and Drew Jones is still developing. So we signed Bader to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. We don't really need him to hit a lot. He didn't really hit a lot last year. We just need a glove in the outfield. We still got Jock Peterson back, qualifying offer, and Goriel and Corbin Carroll. So Harrison Bader. Well, always was a huge fan of Bader as a Cardinal. I loved his energy he played with. Seemed like a good guy. Just can never really hit at the major league level. Still hasn't really hit that much, and he's been hurt a lot too, which has to do with it. But I like the pick of a Harrison Bader. So Ahmed Rosario did not stay in free agency. There ain't really. I mean, we could bring Jace Peterson back, but I think we got enough players to really cover, the utility roles. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this second season underway. We'll see how we do with the trade deadline. A trade offer from the Cincinnati Reds now. Merrill Kelly's having a pretty solid season, but he is 36 and due for free agency. We're getting a trade offer from the Reds for Braxton Garrett, who's 27, signed for the rest of this franchise, having a better year than Merrill Kelly. I don't know how his overall is dropping when he's having a pretty solid year. So we're going to accept this trade because I think it can make us a little bit younger in the rotation. We have a lot of guys about to hit free agency, so we really got to get some of these free agents to be figured out. We're not going to be able to re-sign all of them most likely, so we got to get that figured out. We're here at the trade deadline. The Dodgers are pretty much going to win the division. They're 13.5 up on us, 71-39. I mean, it's going to be very tough. Let's see if we're even in this wild card picture right now. So we're tied for second in the wild card, so we definitely have a shot at that. The Braves are going to be tough to catch unless we go on a run. But it's between us, the Cardinals, and the Brewers, Reds, Mets, Pirates, Rockies are all within distance as well. So let's see who's available on the trade block. We did put a few guys, like I always do, who are close to free agency. And we ended up doing a few trades. I show you guys. We traded Merrill Kelly. Again, not many difference-making players on the trade block. I mean, Brandon Marsh should be in it, but we have a lot of outfielders. We don't really need a lot of outfielders. A lot of starting pitching. This is enticing though. Gregory Santos. He's only 25, 76 overall. He's having a very good season. Might have to see what the Mariners want for Gregory Santos. They want Tommy Troy, Ryan Nelson, Blake Walton, Chris Iverson. I mean, I would give up Elvis Andrus and Bader. I don't know if that's really a fair trade though, but I'm going to trade them Blake Walton. So we get a young reliever who's only going to get better. Looks like our two free agent signings have not played well. Jeff Hoffman and Caleb Ferguson have not been good. Chris Iverson, though, has been pretty damn good for us so far. Let's see who's in that closing role, because closing is usually a problem. Jeff Hoffman. So we need to send somebody down. Maybe we put Gregory Santos in the closing role, see how he does. Put him in the fire early and see what happens. I have to send someone down. That's the tough thing. Okay, Ryan Thompson has not performed well, so he can be the one to go down. And we can get this bullpen situated here, put Jeff Hoffman as a middle relief, and we give our two young studs, 22 and 25, some opportunities to close some games and set up late. So if I look at the rest of the trade block, though, I don't really see anything else we could really do. I mean, I think I'm going to keep this team as is, see if we can make a wild card run. We do have a lot of guys due up for free agency, though, so we have a lot of decisions to make in the offseason. Christian Walker's a free agent after this year. Eugenio Suarez, he's having a down year. Not sure we're going to bring him back. Jock Peterson, not having as good of a year, but still very good. He's a free agent to be as well. Bader's only a one-year deal. He's actually playing pretty solid for us. Not hitting a ton, but hitting for average and getting on base. So that's good to see for Bader. None of these other outfielders, I mean, Jake McCarthy's playing good in the minor leagues, so maybe he'll be ready to go. I think our starting rotation, Zach Gallen's a free agent, I'm pretty sure. Jordan Montgomery. So we got some decisions to make. I'm going to go ahead and go to contract extensions and see if we can re-sign Zach Gallen, because we really got to have him if we're going to make any runs. So he wants a big contract, rightfully so. I'm going to offer him $145 million, see if he accepts that. He accepts it. So Montgomery, we're going to wait and see, because we got to see. He's having a down year. Want to see how he finishes the year. Zach Gallen, though, has been electric. 12 and 6, 2.75 ERA. So we'll just have to see how the rest of this team pans out. So I'm going to go ahead and send him to the end of the season. We'll see how it goes. Zach Gallen led the league in innings pitched and WAR. Great season for him. Let's see how everybody did. We ended up making the playoffs as a wild card team. Ended up finishing 96 and 66 and made the wild card. The wild card division was crazy. Braves win 97 and get a wild card. We win 96. There's a lot of good teams. Phillies won 102 games. Twins won 102 games. This division, surprisingly, was very weak. 89 wins for the Rays that win the division. Yankees underperformed. Red Sox. Very interesting. Let's see how everybody performed before we get this wild card division underway. Ketel Marte, another excellent year, was healthy. 25 home runs, 92 RBIs, 307 average. Perdomo had some injuries, but also I think he had an injury late in the season, but just did not perform well this year. Still hit good for average. Just not really what he was last year. Numbers are up besides home runs, so I shouldn't say he really had a down year. Just power was a little down. Corbin Carroll, I don't get how his overall is going down. He had a hell of a year. 37 home runs, 109 ribbies, slugged 556, got on base. Pretty much all his numbers went up for the most part. Jock Peterson, not as good as a year, but still hit 28 home runs, 89 RBIs. I mean, it's going to be tough to replicate a 47 home run year. I mean, that's going to be tough regardless. Lourdes Gurriel had a pretty good year, power down by 5 home runs, but still hit 85 RBIs and drove in 85 RBIs, I should say. Strikeouts are a little up, though, but numbers are steady. Christian Walker, wouldn't say it's a down year, a little bit down in the home run category, but still a good year overall for Christian Walker. Harrison Bader gave us solid production. We didn't really need him to hit 20 home runs. Hit 9 home runs, 40 RBIs in 84 games, 270 average, slugged over 400. Eugenio Suarez, a down year, probably won't bring him back. Maybe he'll have a big postseason or something for us. And then Jose Herrera is our catcher, because Gabriel Moreno is out 1 to 2 months. So that is a huge blow for us as well. So we definitely need to get that figured out before the series starts. Jordan Lawler off the bench, hit 406, 13 for 32. Gabriel Moreno was not having a good year at all. Alec Thomas, 12 home runs, 53 RBI. One of the wild cards, too. We had to put Jose Herrera at catcher. It looks like he glitched out or something, because Gabriel Moreno was hurt. Looks like it didn't put him on the DL, and now he is on the roster but not playing. So we have to deal with Herrera as catcher, which is very interesting. But We're facing Spencer Strider and the Atlanta Braves. This ought to be a fun series because these are two teams that won 90 games. Here we go, Ketel Marte, Spencer Strider, solo home run to lead off the ball game for Ketel Marte. Just what we needed here in Atlanta. Bases loaded, we don't get nothing else. Zach Gallen, we need an ace-type performance from him if we're going to have any chance to win this series. So ends up getting out of the second inning. Spencer Strider's only given up one run so far. Zach Gallen pitching a scoreless game until now. The Braves tie it up. Need our offense to get us a little bit of run support here. Braves score another run, so 2-1. Two-run bomb by Corbin Carroll. Another home run by Jock Peterson. 4-2 D-backs. Zach Gallen, 5 solid innings so far. There's another home run by Jose Herrera, who we didn't even want to play in this series. Unbelievable. One more inning out of Zach Gallen. We get it. So 6 strong innings for him. So time to go to the bullpen. So we got a righty, lefty. We're going to bring in Jeff Hoffman early on, get us through this inning, hopefully. And he does. Aaron Bummer on to face Harrison Bader. Bases loaded, nobody out. We got to get 1 run. We get 2. So we're going to bring in Kyle Ginkel, give us a good inning here. He does. Raciel Iglesias in the pitch, the 9th inning. 1, 2, 3 innings. So we're going to put in Kyle Nelson here in the 9th inning. Triple for Mitchell Harris, or Michael Harris. I don't know why I said Mitchell Harris. My bad on that. We end up getting the win in game 1. We defeat the Braves 7-2. So we're going to send the second game to save us a little bit of time here. And we end up losing 3-4. So we have to play a game 3 do or die game here. Can we win it? We're going to put Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound. This is going to be an interesting game. Renato Lopez on the mound for Atlanta. We score our early run thanks to Jock Peterson. Boy, has he been good. But Michael Harris gets him right back on the board, leadoff homer. This is going to be a game where it's going to be just intense. So we don't score that inning. We shut down the Braves in the 3rd. Eduardo Rodriguez has been good so far. 4 innings of 1-run ball. 1, 2, 3, 5th inning. Can we get some run support this inning? No. There's a single by Ronald Acuna. Leads to nothing. So 6 strong innings by both stars. Solo home run by Gurriel. And it takes Lopez out of the game. Aaron Bummer in now. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Perdomo, and he strikes out. So can Rodriguez give us another good inning? 1 more pitch. Okay, bases loaded, 2 outs. We're going to bring in Iverson here. And he gives up 2 runs, and the Braves take the lead. That is tough. A.J. Minter. Can we get to him this inning? Bases loaded. We end up hitting a sac fly to tie the game. Tyler Madzik in the pitch, and he gets out of it. So time to make another pitching change. We're going to bring in Caleb Ferguson. Ends up getting out of it. Top of the 9th. Jose Herrera grounds out. Ketel Marte single. We don't score. 1 more inning out of Ferguson. Okay, we're facing a righty. We're going to bring in Kyle Ginkel, and he strikes out. Wow. So Raciel Iglesias facing Jock, single, line out, fly out, and an error, and we don't get nothing out of it. Strikeout. Matt Olson up, double for him. It's time to bring in Miguel Castro. Fly out, walk, strikeout. Man, this has been some intense battle right here. Dylan Lee to face Jose Herrera. Strikeout. Ketel Marte strikeout. Perdomo grounds out. So Miguel Castro, 1 more inning. Gets picked off, and we get out of it. So Dylan Lee in the face Jock Peterson, Corbin Carroll, and Gurriel. Doesn't get nothing there. So Kyle Nelson. 2 on, 2 out, bases loaded, and we give up the run. We didn't have a lot of bullpen left. I probably mismanaged the bullpen. We are officially eliminated by the Braves in the wild card series. Man, that game could have went either way. Both teams struggled to score. Great pitching throughout. Let's see who wins the World Series before I get on with this 3rd and final season. The Phillies defeat the Rays. That's an interesting one. Let's see who retires real quick. And Max Scherzer ends up getting in the Hall of Fame. I'm about to say don't look like anybody big, but Max Scherzer retires. So we're going to get on with the final season. We got some decisions to make, some free agents to be. Let's get to it. And I saw Edward Cabrera was on the trade block. Now, he's coming off two very, very bad years. He didn't really pitch a lot last year. He's only 27, 8 potential. Really could slide in as our fourth starter with Gowan and Paft and Rodriguez. I mean, I really like this deal. I'm not going to lie. I mean, yeah, we're giving up Jake McCarthy, but he's getting up there. Well, not getting up there in age, but like he's 28, hasn't really established himself with us at the major league level. We still got Alec Thomas and Drew Jones, who are getting better. We add a fourth starter. I really liked it. We're giving up two young starters, though. We're giving up, well, Bryce Jarvis is 28, but he's still young in my eyes. I still think 28's young. I know it's not as young in baseball, but Bryce Jarvis, and we give up a 23-year-old Kristen Mina, who could potentially turn out to be something for the Marlins. I'm going to bring in Edward Cabrera. I think we can turn him around. Hopefully we can. And I saw we still needed an outfielder. Now, we could give Drew Jones the opportunity. Maybe he'll platoon with this guy. But I was looking at the Kansas City Royals. Peter Aldridge, 18 years old, 78 overall. Look at his stats. This kid is going to be an absolute stud. I mean, by the time he's 25, his power is going to be unbelievable. I know we won't get to see it in this franchise, but man, I think he's going to be a huge addition to our team. I wanted to make this trade pretty even because I know we're getting a stud. We're giving up Tommy Troy, 8 potential, shortstop, could play second, third, left field. We're also giving up a second baseman, 21 years old, Ruben Santana. I think he's a recently draft pick we had. I can't even talk right now. And we're also giving up Sean Doe, Sean Doe, 22 years old, B potential. We're gonna make this deal, and I think that kid's gonna be an absolute stud for us. So can't wait to see the season he has. Final season of this franchise, we made some moves. We ended up bringing back Jordan Montgomery. No teams were really offering him a big contract. I mean, 16.2 million for 2 years. Didn't really think that was that bad. Bullpen, we pretty much kept the same. I think the bullpen is looking pretty sharp right now. Gabriel Moreno hopefully can come back healthy, be a good catcher. We ended up signing Josh Naylor for 16.2 for 2 years. Really think this is going to add to our lineup. Second base, Ketel Marte. We ended up bringing Eugenio Suarez back. Wasn't really many third basemen out there that we could really go out and get. We could have got one through a trade, but maybe he'll have a bounce back here. He played pretty solid in 2024 for us. And then you guys saw the Peter Aldridge trade. Had to add him to the 40-man roster. Him and Drew Jones could definitely fight for that outfield spot. We also have Alec Thomas as well. Almost designated for assignment. I almost sold right there. But add him to the major leagues. Corbin Carroll's 94 overall. I think this team is another 90-win team. I hope I'm right. But I've been wrong many times if you guys have seen my other franchises. So we're going to get this season underway. Hopefully this third season's a World Series type year. Trade deadline. We're 4 games out of first place. 63 and 46. Not a bad record at all. I think we're having a pretty solid season. Let's see if we're in this wild card hunt right now. It's going to be a dogfight for that wild card. I mean, the Cubs, Mets, us, and the Dodgers are all bunched together. The Marlins are only 4.5 back. Whatever team gets hot in the second half might take these 2 wild cards. So let's see if there's anything on the trade block. Garrett Crochet from the Chicago White Sox, free agent after the year. Having a pretty good year. Maybe we look to add him. That could be somebody we look at. We got Brendan Donovan, utility guy, can play everywhere, having a really good year. Look at those batting averages. Wow. Kerry Carpenter, Jackson Holliday's on the trade block, Patrick Bailey. Some interesting names. Let's see how everybody's been performing. I know I don't usually do this as much, but I just want to see if we need something update. Ketel Marte's power has not been very good. He was hurt at the beginning of the year. I think right after the first 2 games he got hurt, so I'll give him some slack there. Corbin Carroll having a hell of a first half. Gurriel's power is taking a nosedive. Peter Aldridge having a good first half of his first season, especially at 18. Suarez is having an okay first half, not anything special. Gabriel Moreno's been okay. Looks like our lineup's just not really showing a lot of power. Josh Naylor was hurt, but he's back. A lot of, snowflakes in our lineup. Kevin Newman's been good off the bench. Jose Herrera's not. Blaze Alexander, no idea who this guy is, but he's playing solid. Emmanuel Rivera's been really good. Let's take a look at this rotation. Zach Gallen, very good. 3.04 ERA. Need that out of our ace. Montgomery's been better. Not great, but better than last year. Brandon Paft, solid. Ryan Nelson's been pretty good for a 4 starter, and Edward Cabrera's been actually a pretty good pickup, so good to see him bounce back. Eduardo Rodriguez is hurt with a finger contusion, 7-6 record. ERAs are definitely higher than they should be. Braxton Garrett also. We have a lot of starting pitchers who are also long relief pitchers. Braxton Garrett's been solid in the bullpen. Gregory Santos has been good. Caleb Ferguson, great bounce back year for him, 2.33 ERA. Kevin Ginkel, good year as well, 2.20 ERA. Kyle Nelson's not been as good. Jeff Hoffman, though, I was getting a lot. Let me see. I'm going to move him back to the closer role, but Chris Iverson's been good as well. He's been a really good, solid draft pick for us, 80 overall at 23. But Jeff Hoffman, we've been getting so many trade offers for him, and I've been wondering why. And looking at his ERA, you could definitely see why now. 1.59 ERA, 24 out of 26 in save opportunities. So do we go for a starting pitcher? Do we go for a Garrett Crochet? I mean, it looks like our offense has really been struggling. Like, do we go after a Brendan Donovan? Like, where does he fit in this team? I mean, do we side him at third base? Do we include Suarez, put Brendan Donovan at third base? I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna see what they want. So let's see. They want Kevin Ginkel. That's it for Brendan Donovan. That don't seem like a fair trade. I'm gonna include a guy who's been raking in the minor leagues, Andres Chaparro. Gonna include him. Who else to include here? You know what? Alec Thomas. You know, Drew Jones is hitting pretty good in the minor leagues. I want to give an opportunity with him and Peter Aldridge in this final season. I'm going to include Alec Thomas. So we're trading Suarez, Chaparro, and Alec Thomas for Brendan Donovan, who's going to be our third baseman. We go ahead and slide him over to third base. I think this is going to be a really good pickup. Now he's at 87 overall, so we are good at third base. Our infield is like really good overall wise. I mean, all plus 85. I mean, that's a really good infield. Outfield, we're looking pretty solid. Going to give Drew Jones the call. He's earned it. He's played well. So the question is, do we add another starter or do we keep the pitching rotation we have? I mean, I think we're pitching pretty good. Could we be better? Absolutely, but I think we've been good. I think that's going to be the only move I make, honestly, adding Brendan Donovan. So we'll see how it pans out. I'll see y'all at the end of the season. Let's take a look. League leader Zach Gallen leads the league in WAR again, and he ends up NL Rookie of the Year, Peter Aldridge. So what a pickup he was for us. Let's see how everybody did before we get this wild card. Oh, let me take a look at our record. I apologize. 90 and 71. Look at this division. 3 teams with 90 wins. Padres win the division with 96 and 66. Dodgers 91 and 71. We're going to end up playing the Cardinals in the wild card, I think it said, which is interesting. So let's see how everybody did. Perdomo, solid year, about where his typical career numbers are at. Brendan Donovan was a hell of a pickup. 28 home runs for Brendan Donovan. As a Cardinal fan, I don't ever expect Brendan Donovan to hit 28 home runs, but I mean, that would be incredible if he did. 321 average. Man, Ketel Marte, just not a good year, was hurt. Power fell off a cliff. Hopefully he has a good playoff run for us. Corbin Carroll, another solid year. Not as good as the last 2 years, but still, very good year. Josh Naylor was a solid pickup, about where his career numbers have been the last 3 years. Peter Aldridge, 19 home runs in his first season, 85 RBIs. Am I seeing Juan Soto vibes from this kid? Definitely looking like it. Lourdes Gurriel, about where he was last year. Not horrible seasons by Gurriel, but... And then we have Gabriel Moreno, just hasn't really hit, been hurt last year, hasn't really hit, but we don't really need him to hit that much. Drew Jones didn't really hit that much, but he'll still play. Kevin Newman was good off the bench. Jordan Lawler didn't really play too much. Jose Herrera didn't really do too much. And Emmanuel Rivera. So let's take a look at the pitching and get this third playoffs underway. Zach Gallen, 13-8, excellent year, 3.18 ERA. Jordan Montgomery was solid, 16-6, 3.53 ERA. Brandon Paft, 3.82 ERA, 12-11. He's been reliable in that third spot. Eduardo Rodriguez was not good this year, 10-10 ERA, over 450. Got to be better. Edward Cabrera was really good. So I've had a history of making some moves that are questionable or moves that don't work out. The moves I made this season with that young outfielder and Edward Cabrera have worked out. So it's good to see. Ryan Nelson, 3.75 ERA. Braxton Garrett was good, ate some innings out of the bullpen. Gregory Santos was a lot better than last year. Caleb Ferguson was lights out, 2.36 ERA, 43 strikeouts in 42 innings. Kevin Ginkel, what a year for him, 59 strikeouts in 58 innings. Kyle Nelson, good to see him put up good numbers, not as good as last year, but still a very good year. Chris Iverson, ERA up a little bit, but still a solid year. And Jeff Hoffman, 37 saves out of 40 opportunities. Wow, what a year for him. Definitely going to need that in the playoffs. So I'm going to get this playoff underway. I'll see you guys then. Card game against my favorite team, the St. Louis Cardinals. Alek Manoah on the mound. So here we go. Not a good first inning. Zach Gallen looking to lead us to a playoff run. We got to get him some run support, back-to-back walks, bases loaded. And the Cardinals are getting some runs this inning. They only get 2, though, back-to-back singles. We end up scoring a run, tie the game thanks to Ketel Marte, and then Corbin Carroll with a 3-run bomb gets us the lead. But Zach Gallen does not look sharp, but he gets out of that inning. Let's see if we can have a good inning here. Ends up giving up 2 runs. Time to take one more hitter for Gallen. Okay, he's got to be taken out. It's getting out of control. We're going to bring in Ryan Nelson. Grand slam by Nolan Gorman. Man, he has to face another hitter, strikes him out. That is just a backbreaker right there. 2-run bomb, though, by Corbin Carroll. He is keeping us in this. So we're going to switch pitchers. We're going to bring in Gregory Santos here. Gives us a 1-2-3 inning. 2-run bomb by Gurriel. Gets us a lead off of Giolito. And it's a 1-run game. We got 2 righties. We're going to bring in Kevin Ginkel, who's been lights out all season long. 1-2-3 6th inning. Ian Gabbard in the pitch. Gets out of it. Okay, we're going to bring in Chris Iverson. It's a little early, but he gives up a 2-run bomb to James Wood. Oh, my goodness. That is another backbreaker. We got to get this run back. Brendan Donovan hits into a double play. We still score a run thanks to Ketel Marte. Isaiah Campbell in the pitch, 2 on, 2 out, and he strikes him out. So it's time to bring in Caleb Ferguson. 1-2-3 inning. Peter Aldridge single. And we do not get him home. And we get out of that inning. So extra innings here. Leadoff double. We got to get a sac fly right here. Strikes out. We score 2, though, thanks to Corbin Carroll. What a game he has had. Wow. So it's time to bring in our lights out closer, Jeff Hoffman here. Gives up a walk, but it doesn't lead to nothing, and we win game 1. Great win against the Cardinals there. Going to go ahead and send the second game just to save time, and we advance to face the Padres. So let's get this game 1 underway. Division rival. Who we going to put on the mound? We're going to put Brandon Paft, who had a pretty solid season. Dylan Cease on the mound, who we tried to get in free agency. Going to be tough to beat him in this Padre team. Paft gets out of a first inning jam. This Padre team is loaded. They got Brian Buxton now. Sheesh. Dylan Cease is rolling, yet to give up a hit. Brandon Paft gives up 2 runs. 2-0. And the way Cease is pitching, that might be enough. Solo shot by Luke Raley. Man, this is going to be a tough deficit to climb back out from. Can we get 1 more inning out of him? We do. So 5 decent innings. Gave up 10 hits, though. We're going to bring in Braxton Garrett, try to give us some innings here. They throw out the runner. We score a run, though, thanks to Corbin Carroll. Who else has been incredible in this series? Dylan Cease. Out of the game, Adrian Moradon in the pitch. We give up a double. We get a double by Brendan Donovan to tie up the game. And a 3-run bomb by Corbin Carroll gets us the lead. Holy hell, what a clutch hit by him. We're going to bring in Chris Iverson here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-2-3 inning. So time to bring in Jeff Hoffman to get us a game 1 win here. Single, walk, strikeout. And oh my goodness. Double play, and we win by 1 run. Wow, that is a nail-biter. So we're going to sim game 2. We get the win. So game 3, we sweep the Padres to advance. Wow. This could be the run we've all been waiting for right here. Us against the Phillies. Trying to get back the World Series here. We're going to put Zach Gallen on the mound. Michael King on the mound. Can we get some early run support? And we got to thank Corbin Carroll as they get a double from Bryce Harper to give them a 2-0 lead early. Can we get those runs back? We don't. But yeah, we got to thank Corbin Carroll. He's been unbelievable. And speaking of him, he has a 3-run bomb to get us the lead. This guy has been unreal. Solo shot by Bryce to get him a 3-3 tie. Runner gets thrown out. Michael King gives up 2 runs to Ketel Marte, and we're back in front. Zach Gallen just has to give us a decent performance. Andrew Painter in the pitch for the Phillies. They're going to leave him in a little bit. Gallen settling in a little bit as soon as I said he gives up a double but doesn't give up a run. Maybe another inning. He's pitched good. Another inning for Zach Gallen. Can we get another run on the board? We don't. So we're going to bring in our bullpen. Kyle Ginkel. He's been excellent all season long. Double, strikeout, and strikeout. Top of the ninth. We failed to get a run. Time to bring in our closer, Jeff Hoffman, to try to close it out, and he does. So game one win for us. Let's sim game two. We lose that one, so off to game three. It's going to be a close series. So we're going to put Brandon Pfaff on the mound. We're at home in Arizona. Solo shot by Perdomo to lead off the game. Ranger Suarez is not looking good at all in this game. Gives up 2 runs in the first inning, I should say. Brandon Pfaff having a good game so far. Gets out of the leadoff single. Maybe Suarez is settling in now for the Phils. Back-to-back singles don't lead to nothing. Brandon Pfaff has been excellent in this game. This is exactly what we needed. They bring in Christopher Sanchez, and we get a RBI single by Ketel Marte. Brandon Pfaff continues to just mow through this lineup. Solo shot by who else? Corbin Carroll. If he don't win MVP if we win this World Series, I don't know who else would. Brandon Pfaff, complete game on the way. He gets a complete game shutout. What a performance by Brandon Pfaff. We're going to sim game 4. We win that. Game 5, and we advance to the World Series. Unbelievable. Wow. So here we go. Game 1 of the World Series. We're facing the Minnesota Twins, who won 95 games. Let's see who they got on this team. Corbin Burns, no wonder. Corbin Burns and Zach Gallen. They got Juan Soto, Ian Happ. Wow, this is an interesting team. So we got Corbin Burns on the mound. Can we get some early run support? We don't. Zach Gallen with a 1-2-3, bottom of the first. And a solo home run by Matt Wallner to get him the lead. We got to get that run back if we can. We get 2 runs by Ketel Marte with the RBI double. There's a triple by Gurriel. Let's see if we can get him in with a sac fly. We don't. 2 on. Don't get anybody home there. Zach Gallen's looked solid so far, though. He's kept in this game. This has been a pitching duel. Single, strikeout, ground out. So 6 strong innings. Corbin Burns has been great as well. 1 more inning out of Gallen, so 7 strong innings. Giovanni Morgan in the pitch. We don't get a run, so it's time to bring in the bullpen. Chris Iverson in the pitch. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. Jose Alcala in the pitch. Solo shot by Gabriel Moreno. 3-1, so it's time to bring in Jeff Hoffman. Can he close it out? Triple, ground out, walk, and he ends up getting us the win 3-1 in game 1. Unbelievable. Let's sim game 2. We get the win there. Okay, I'm going to sim 2 games. Okay, we're 1 win away. Are we going to go to a game 7? We are. So we send the games and we're going to a game 7, folks. Game 7 for the World Series to close out this franchise. Zach Gallen just pitched. Montgomery's been unbelievable. We're going to put in Jordan Montgomery. We're facing Pablo Lopez. Game 7 of the World Series, and we don't get a run in the first inning. Can Montgomery be the stud again? We're struggling to get runs right now. That is not good. But so are the Twins. We're going to bunt them over. Sack fly. That's what you call situational baseball right there. We get a run out of nothing. Base is loaded. Montgomery is falling apart, but he gets out of it, only giving up 2 runs. Montgomery's looking a little shaky right now. Gives up 2 runs. We got to take Montgomery out. I might have let them in a little bit long anyways. And there's a solo shot by Ketel Marte to make it a 2-run game. Single, fly out, strike out, and fly out. Solo shot by Lee. Double play. Man, this is looking rough. So they bring in Steven Okert against Ketel Marte. 1, 2, 3 inning. We're going to bring in Caleb Ferguson. So our last chance against Juan Duran for the World Series. Peter Aldridge, ground out. Lori Gurriel Jr. double. Gabriel Marino fly out walk. Perdomo, and we lose Game 7 of the World Series. That is tough, but at least we made it to the World Series. That's all you can hope for. Corbin Carroll gets playoff MVP as he should. He was unbelievable. Juan Soto carries into a World Series. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this Diamondback franchise. I enjoyed, you know, rebuild or not rebuilding, but just building this team and getting to the World Series and having some success. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe and check out my other channels in the description.